Hello, everyone, and welcome to Meadowlark Productions. Uh, we're excited today to be raising funds for Project Hopemas, uh, and we're going to be playing an interlude of A Season's Oath, Drosslight. Uh, I am Okami, and I will be your guide. Today, as I said before, we present A Season's Oath, a Wanderhome actual play interlude series of hope, exploration, and deep magic. A West Marches hex crawl, an OSR inspired folklore core journey with a rotating cast of travelers who weave in and out of the saga. All of them are seeking to understand a magic bestowed upon them by the venerable and forgotten gods of flame, form, dark, and wind. A road that will take them to many forgotten and sacred places all over Hythe. This series interlude will showcase the full rules of Wanderhome by Possum Creek Games, including seasons, holidays, guest playbook and natures, and J Dragon's Patreon homebrew magic rules. To donate to our Project Hope Miss, Tiltify link in the chat, right, Baba Yaga? Okay, Tiltify link in the chat. And do we have a QR code in our overlay? Yes, no, maybe? No? Okay, no QR code in the overlay, folks. Maybe next time. But watch for the Tiltify link in the chat because not only do we need you to please donate if you can, because it's a really important cause, we have some fun incentives to kind of get you going and donating, in addition to feeding people over the holidays, which is so important. If you donate $5, the travelers will gain a token that any may use or save. For $15, you can introduce a new kith, which are NPCs in Wanderhome, and it'll be a kith name that hasn't been met by the travelers on their journey. Will just be introduced to the scene, such as from the backstory of one of the travelers or from the current place they're exploring. If all of the named kith have been met, then the group, we're all going to look at the common animal folk of the place they're visiting, and we're just going to make one up. For a $25 donation, you can gift one of the travelers a relic, a special kith that is an inanimate object that confers the traveler who carries it a supernatural trait, as if they themselves were a kith. Each relic also has a unique bit of Hythe lore that comes with it. A roll in a special chart will determine what relic is found in the journey. Dice in a diceless game? How fun.
Dun dun
Dun
dun.
dun dun. Uh, Another $25 donation of a different kind is that you can confer a magic trait. Traveler gains the first level in a new path of magic, deepening their connection to the venerable and forgotten gods. Tonight, for every $50 that we raise cumulatively, we have a donation goal of Awakening of Folklore. The folklore of the current nature being directly interacted with is immediately brought into the current scene or immediately after. Okay. Now, we've got our incentives out of the way. Let's introduce our cast of travelers. Please tell us your name, your pronouns, your character's name, their playbook, and their pronouns, and then popcorn it over to the next player. I am Okami. I am your guide. My pronouns are he, they, and if Okami the Witch was ever actually met on the road, their pronouns would be he, they, and they would be a gray wolf. I'm going to popcorn it over to Coco.
Hey everybody, my name is Quinn. I use any and all pronouns. I will be playing Coco the Rebel playbook, which is one of the guest playbooks in Wanderhome, and he uses he/him pronouns. Do we say our animal now, or are we saving that for
Yeah,
later?
say your animal.
Okay, and Coco is a crested gecko, and I will popcorn it to Baba Yaga.
Hi, I'm Baba Yaga. I use any and all pronouns, and I'm playing Melicent or Mel the Smith. And she uses she/her pronouns. She is a awesome squirrel who wears her Crocs in sport mode. I'm gonna popcorn it over to Diamond.
Not the Crocs in sport mode. All right. I now have this visual. It's going to haunt me. But hiya, my name is Madness Diamond, but since we're friends now, you can call me Diamond. I use they, she pronouns, they because it's correct, she because I refuse to correct my mother more than once, and I will be playing Kovala. Kovala is a lion Mothtender who uses any and all pronouns because the postal system will not be gendered. And I'm going to pop it over to Theo.
Thanks, Diamond. Yes, I'm Logan, he, him pronouns. I'll be playing Theozander, who is the teacher, who also uses he, him pronouns. And Theozander is a tawny frogmouth. They look something like this. You can look it up. They're not owls, but they are funky little Australian creatures. And I'll pass over to Artie.
There's an alternate version of the Tony Frogmouth, which is as well. Hello, people of the internet. I am Adi MK. I go by Fab He Him because I'm kind of He Him is a little boring, and I like to concentrate on being Fab first. I will be playing Bhaloo the Guardian, and he also goes by he, him. Is just a little less Fab. Or that's me shitting on my own character before I should start. Yeah, that's me. Hi.
Okay. So, as we go into our journey, I've been neglecting this in the past couple of interludes, but I want to bring it back. We're going to answer 4 questions as we take our first few steps. First, what sort of place did we just travel from? I know that we had an open discussion in session 0 about this, but why don't we share with the audience a little bit where we just were? So we were at the Cloud Summit Springs bathhouse up at the top of the mountain. Would anyone like to share just a little tidbit of what your character did there that kind of informs how they're feeling as you're going on this new journey to a new place?
I think for the first little bit after they left, I think everyone would have been gently teasing Bhaloo for passing out in one of the hot springs. Because he found that ginger biscuits and green tea and that combination just like they came into the hot springs and there's a bear like floating like
Kovala, what was it like getting to spend more time with your adopted mother and your new, well, not new, but your long-term, long-distance lover?
Kovala, after having the adventures with all of their last group of friends and travelers, and then bidding them adieu whenever they left, leaving her all alone in this wonderful, wonderful hot spring of a place. I feel like Kovala's had the most impactful time getting to know what it's like to stay in one place again without and like still sending off the different moths to do different deliveries, but it's the moths now have one place that they come back to whenever they do to make sure all the Candlemas deliveries get there in time. But it's the Kovala's hasn't been as anxious about needing to leave. Like the cabin fever kind of hasn't set in. Like their paws don't crave like the pitter patter against the gravel as much. It's more of the learning to have like quiet moments in the spring and having like Garen within like reaching distance has been strange, but has acquired a new quirk of I could just go tell them how I'm feeling, but I still miss writing them. So it's the there are now love letters just written on scrap everywhere that just get left around.
I think that Garen also leaves you notes
Yes.
around the spring as well. I think that you continue to write these little post-it notes and these little poems to each other, even though you're living in the same building, um, as just sort of an expression of how much you care about each other. Because sometimes Garen needs to work and take care of the patrons and can't be there all the time, and loves to write and send you new poems and things. And
Uh, and I think it's also that Kovala, for some reason, has started looking more like Kimbara. It's the thing
mm,
of like, the more time you spend around somebody, the more you start resembling them.
hmm
It's getting to the point where Kovala looks a lot like their mom now,
right,
even if it's
yeah,
just adoptive mom. It's like it's the probably like different guests who have been coming and going and know
hmm
Kimbara by sight. It's like they
yeah,
might see Kovala in passing thing. It's like, did she change her mane?
yeah,
That's not
right,
the same person. Why is there a
yeah,
moth in there? So, and Kovala's
hmm
mannerisms are leaning more towards their mothers as well. So they've
yeah,
kind of taken on this like, because Kimbara is cheerful, witchy, and caring, and I think Kovala is slowly taking on that like witchy trait, but not fully, and
right,
just like their own way in the way that they
yeah,
organize things.
yeah. Um, Coco, how's this time of rest at the hot springs kind of impacted you as you're on your way to a new place with new friends and old friends?
Yeah. No, I mean it's very different than the last place that Coco was very loud, the amusement park, the band, it was a lot of noise and it was a lot of memory. And after that, I think he needed a break, needed to get away, needed somewhere calmer and a little bit more quiet. And then running into the old friend, Bhaloo, and after being confronted with so many memories of people who were no longer there, who were no longer with him, running into someone from the war, someone that he knew a long time ago, has, I think, given him like a renewed sense of hope of finding people who are still out there, whose stories he might not have heard of, who he doesn't necessarily know what has happened to, who he lost track of over the years. So I think that the rest did him a lot of good, and he's excited to be heading out again, looking for maybe some people in particular, but also just like looking to meet old acquaintances again.
Mm. Uh, and how about you, Theozander? Was it really relaxing, kind of pausing and being in the hot springs? And did you get some writing in? What was the experience? How did the experience impact you as you head off to a new place?
Yeah, I think it was a nice, relaxing time. I'm imagining like they're getting like really sudsed up and like, like hunkering down like that when you can do like chickens and they just kind of like go into a little ball. And one of Theo's striking characteristics is these like big bushy eyebrows that he has that often look like he's frowning, but he's like usually not. And I think that like the eyebrows are particularly like light and fluffy after a most recent bath, looking very quite voluminous. And I think particularly during the in the hot springs and things, and I'm imagining maybe there's some gardens as well that can be sat in outdoors. Theo's been learning a lot, I think, from the mountain, and so
Hmm.
now he has this advancement that he took behind the scenes was a new subject that he can now teach on the meditation of deep time through communion with mountains and rocks. So I think he spent maybe longer time than he originally planned to here
Hmm.
to receive that teaching, and is now like kind of coming out at the end of that, like, oh yes, like I suppose I could move on from here.
Uh, and I'm going to loop around to Mel. You have found yourself once again on the road with Theo, who you've learned so much from, and you were in this really relaxing place with new friends. How is Mel feeling going to this new place after getting such a nice, relaxing time getting to know some new people?
Mel is like recharged and refocused. There's still lingering hurt over over just ideas and facing ideas that were never real. But I think it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, if I can't be a hero, and heroes are bad and gods and all the wars and all these things are horrible, I need to find my own path. I need to forge my own path. So she's been like brainstorming and just trying to figure out like new things, like what's a new way that I could create this old thing, make it easier to do, anything. And her upgrades that I picked was she's created a whole brand new material that I'm gonna hand wave and say combines glass and clay to make a transparent, clear, hard, like lucite or one of our plastics, but yeah, makes a clear, hard substance. So she can use that to make shields, make anything that you can see right through. There's no hiding. Lunchboxes.
Yeah, that you can see the food in, so you know what you're getting. Or at least that's what Kimbra suggests. She's just like, ooh, we could make some boxes that are see-through so people can choose what food lunches that they like. You know, it's a little thing. The next question is, do we feel like the journey has been long? And I think we've all kind of answered that question, right? Like we've all kind of spent like a long inner journey, like at the spa, like kind of learning. Do we all agree? What do you think, Coco? Do you feel like this has been like, oh, you thought you were going to be here a day and maybe you were here a month or two kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's maybe a longer journey than expected.
Yeah.
I think definitely, like, we would have come here, it's going to be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but then the massagers and the physiotherapists at this place are like just really good. And Bhaloo has been dealing with having to be in the sphere of husband and wife with a wife who is suddenly now 20 years younger and much fitter. So there's like at several points in the, like, you would have seen Bhaloo just leaning against one of the wall with his hand on his back, just going.
Yeah, that's the other strange thing, Coco. Boomy is like the same age she was when she passed. She has not aged. She's aged in mind, and like her mental state is very older, very wise, but her actual like physical state is still
looks exactly the same as the last time I saw her. Great.
Yeah,
that's not weird at all.
That's not weird at all.
But this has also been like, in addition to the massage and all of that, Bhaloo has been watching his figure and he's been doing exercise. So like he's getting back to, like, he's trying to get back, like, physically a little bit, just to keep up, but yeah. Okay. So he's a little less dad bod and little more gym dad bod. Yeah.
Nice. Does anyone else have any insights into how long the journey has been? Or are we ready for the next question? All right. Oh, good. The next one is there somewhere that we hope to go? Now, generally, when we all got together during session 0, we talked about going to this destination, this town, Drosslight, the base of the mountain, for Candlemas. But is there anywhere else other than this place for the holiday that perhaps in your character's heart you would like to go? I think, Coco, you mentioned that you're trying to find old friends, so it's more of a who than a where.
Yeah. I think Coco is just ready to wander, and the place doesn't matter quite as much as the company does.
And Kovala, you said you didn't feel the itch yet, but I know that Kovala really cares about her job.
I think Kovala has something like that was probably brought while they were on their like resting vacation, and he's just been like, oh well, I now know where I'm going. I have something that needs to go to somebody.
Yeah.
Kovala hasn't opened it. It's a little box. It's
Mhm.
probably about as wide as two paws set together.
Mhm.
I am a lion, so I have big toe beans.
Mhm.
I have big paws, big floofy paws. And it's probably about as long as the length of paws, but it's a little bit flat and it's sealed. And there's something inside of it. And it has an address that is just when new people are met. And that's all. And that's where it's supposed to go. Kovala tried to give it to a moth, and the moth was like, no, there's a child covered in sugar over there. Bye.
All right.
So
It's Louise.
yeah, Louise has stolen Kovala's moths. So.
Yes.
I think Kovala wants to go to a place where people will be met, and it has like this familial vibe to it. So I think Kovala is looking for something that might be family, but not their family, but a family or the essence of family. So Kovala just keeps thinking about that tree with all the little tabs on it, all the little notes, and that's kind of the same energy and vibe that they were getting from this little narrative tool I'm giving our guide to make me do my job.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Does anyone else feel like your character has somewhere else that they want to go, or are they just like really interested in this little village for Candlemas?
I feel like Theo doesn't think too far ahead at this point where he is, and so yeah, he's just thinking about the next place, and then when that feels complete, then he'll think about the next place. So I think he's very sort of immediate in his thinking. So Drosslight, great, cool, off we go.
Okay.
I think sort of just after like a period of rest, etc. And I know that she is like there's a certain threshold before which Louise starts getting like
Right.
like jittery like clown on like cocaine like
Oh my god.
like
She's not that bad. I would hope.
you try taking care of that little scamp. Oh my god.
Stealing moths and bringing people back from the dead. Louise is a saint.
Louise is a mood. Louise is a mood. But like yeah, just to get her to like to
right,
like to like stay off the explosion, like give her some intense like so just ask. I would have asked Louise where she would have liked to go actually.
Right.
Because
of course Louise's response is everywhere, like all over.
Because I did
different
teach
people,
her.
Lots of small guides. It would be amazing.
I did teach her something from another playbook, which I still don't know what it is.
What did you teach her?
I did say that like I would have like let Louise pick, so that's
right.
only
Gotcha. It'll show up eventually.
Still don't know. How much
yeah, I know, right? I should have done my homework. I'm so used to like so and finally, but silently, in our heads, we answer the question, where is my home? And so we embark. My friends, my travelers, welcome to Drosslight. Drosslight is a beautiful mountain village on the lower peaks of the Cloud Summit Mountains. It thrives from the earthly riches of the Drosslight mines that burrow deep into the heart of the mountains, and the skills of the town's many smiths. Drosslight's smiths once crafted the finest blades for the rebellion during the war. Yet now, the local famed smiths craft tools to aid in the day-to-day lives of the people of Hythe. Nails, lanterns, hammers, plowshares, wash tubs, water pumps, stag beetle shoes, and climbing pittons, just to name a few. The Kith here live a life of honest work in the shadows of the looming mountains. And at night, the village is illuminated like a sea of stars with the many iron lanterns handcrafted by the village folk. These lanterns are often stuck out by the firelights from all over Hythe to use in their important work as guides for those lost in the dark. The natures of this place. Drosslight is a furnace. It burns hot with the force of furious and creative fire. It is a mountain, a place where the earth meets the sky. And it is a mine, a shaft deep into the earth, digging up all manner of things. The aesthetics of Drosslight are a sign someone was once here, an even higher summit, soft lantern light, mineral deposits, walls of iron tools, ornate glassworks. I would like to invite all of my travelers to participate, if they wish, to use these place moves along with me, your guide. These are tokenless moves that can be used at any time to bring to life the place that we're visiting. This place can always describe what can be seen from way up here. Show someone pushed to desperate extremes. Isolate someone from everyone else and give them a token. Describe the dark and musty air. Show things long hidden under the surface. Ask someone, do you want to go deeper? Give them a token if they descend into the earth. Describe the stifling heat. Raise tensions caused by intolerable conditions. Ask, will you forge what was once broken? Give them a token if they try their best. The folklores of this place. The North Wind God and what he taught us. The Heaven's Blade and its construction. And the last gleam of sunlight. Common animal folk, mountain goats, bears, and lions. The small and forgotten gods of this place are sentient flames, iron golems, and brownies. You know, not the kind you eat, but the kind that fix shoes. And that is the place where you all have arrived. So, Kovala, you're here with Garen and Kimbra, your mother. Boomy and Louise are with you, Bhaloo. So you all have like a little pack of people as you're arriving in this town. Kovala, is it daytime or is it night when you arrive into this town to celebrate Candlemas?
I think it's late day because then it gives us time because we probably left at first light to make sure that we could see like the path
through all the cliffs and yeah.
And I think we probably wanted to make sure that Louise had gotten a good night's sleep before. So if we left whatever, it was a little bit like still dim outside, maybe she would sleep a little bit during the traveling. And then by the time she's awake and energetic, we're near town and she can be let loose with her chaos upon civilization instead of us.
You arrive in this town with beautiful cobblestone streets, stone buildings with a really heavily thatched roofs, um, beautiful like carved stone shrines of the various of like the North Wind God and the various like small and forgotten gods of crafting. You see big iron golems standing outside various buildings where you hear the clink and the clang of crafting and forging and the vague smell of what does it smell like here, Mel? And why is it so familiar to you as a smith? Oh no. Oh, there you are.
I'm so sorry. I was reading the kith. Can you repeat the question?
What does it smell like here? And why is it so familiar to you as a smith?
Oh, well, it smells like slag. Like just walking through the street, it smells like the waste material that happens because there's just it's everywhere. Um, and yeah, just Mel would be breathing deep. Like this feels like home. She doesn't really know what home is, but this is like, oh, okay. I like this place. This is nice.
Uh, I think Louise tugs on Theozander's pant leg, looks up with moths like flying around her, like, like just like with like little bits of sugar in their little moth paws that they're eating. And they look huge, right, compared to her because the moths are big in this world. They're like the size of birds. Um, but she asked, why are there so many lanterns?
Mm.
And
Excellent.
Louise points, and there's lanterns everywhere. There is a lantern hanging from from hooks on every door. There are street those cool like street lanterns that you kind of have to light up, that are gas powered. And they're just hanging. This place is and they kind of like they stand out during the day because they're empty, they're not lit. But like some of them have, and they're all really nice, like glass. Um, just to show you what Louise is pointing out.
And I think, yeah, Theozander looks around and notices, yeah, there's he wonders idly, like, at the ratio of lanterns to inhabitants of Drosslight. Is it 1-to-1 or is it like more than that? And he sort of takes Louise's sticky hand and maybe regrets it, but and says, "Well, it's a great question. What are lanterns good for? What do lanterns help us do?"
Well, they light things so that we can see in the dark. A small god once told me that they illuminate truth. And if they're big enough, they can like help ships from the shore. But I think those lanterns are called lighthouses.
Yes, you're right. Those are very, very, very large lanterns. These are all quite small handheld ones mostly, it seems. So yes, maybe the people here like seeing in the dark and illuminating truths. If we find someone, maybe we should just ask and get that knowledge right from the source.
Oh, okay. And then she just sort of like lets go of your hand and immediately starts like marching up towards a stranger. Boomy freezes because like you see Boomy. So Boomy is a tall moon bear dressed in a beautiful midnight blue sari and veil that is trimmed with gold. and has lovely bangles. And she had like a moist, something she had just like dampened it with some of the her water flask. Uh, and she was getting ready to wipe and clean your hand and Louise's hand. And Louise just bolts away and she's like, "Oh dear." And
And
hands you
where do you think you're going, little one?
and she like literally like stops on like the balls of her feet and bounces 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I was going to ask. I was just doing what teacher
We're
Theozander said, which is go ask
conducting
a
some important
person.
research.
Yes, conducting some important research. Um,
I think Bhaloo just shoots Theo just like a narrowed eye. Like, don't support this. And she'll just kind of look to Louise. Yes, but did you look to see whether the person themselves was busy? Or were you just going to go and interrupt them?
oh no, I
And what did we learn about being sensitive, Louise?
she like you should always be mindful of what people are doing. But grown-ups are always busy. Uh, and as you're saying this, Boomy gently takes your hand, Theozander, and just like cleans the sticky sugar off of it with the damp cloth.
Thank you.
Uh, uh, Kimbra comes behind Louise and puts her paw on her shoulder and cackles. And you feel kind of this witchy energy just kind of reverberate through your little group. And Kimbra says, the reason why they have so many lanterns is so that they can illuminate the town. It gets very dark in the shadow of the mountain, especially after the sun goes down. And they also use the lanterns in the mines to be able to harvest the ore in the mountains. Oh, Miss Kimbra, are you from here? Yes, the mountain is my home, and I come down here for Candlemas every year. Why? You have such a nice resort. Why would you come here? Because the whole time that I am at the hot springs, I'm working, Louise. When I come here, I'm celebrating the holiday. And at this point, when she says that and kind of, flings her paw up, you hear like the sound of like sleigh bells, kind of, as people walk by, and you realize people are starting to decorate for Candlemas. People are putting up garlands, people are setting up booths, and I would like to explain Candlemas for you all. Excuse me, Candle Feast. Candle Feast. Uh, as everyone says goodbye to Silt and welcomes in the icy chill, Candle Feast is a time when people can honor their families, both blood and found, and can give each other hope in a dark time. The traditions of Candle Feast in this place, and this is sort of like Kimbra is kind of going over this as you're all walking through. Kimbra says candles in every window. And you see people like, in addition to the lanterns that they have these really cool like lanterns that are like specifically for candles. And everyone's like putting them in. Like every window, you see a kith setting up a candle. Um, Massive plates of overflowing food, and you guys walk past like this booth where people are just putting out like plates that are just piled with various bug meats and that are grilled and uh, cookies and breads and all sorts of things, outside, almost like setting up for like a barbecue. Um, Long stories about ancient times, and you walk past a stage and there is a mountain goat dressed in a multicolored rag coat with a lute saying, "And long ago the dragons flew high and were plentiful and ruled benevolently over the lands of Hythe." An offering of food for the house god, and you see like a family going over to like a little shrine that they have like outside of their house and putting a little plate with just little bits and pieces of the food you saw just down the way. Uh and my absolute favorite, and you see like this tavern with all of these barrels, and the tavern is called the Shining We'll say it's called the Shining Lantern. Just barrels and barrels and barrels. And you see Kimbra pull out a goblet, like a silver goblet, and does one of the taps, and this thick, rich red wine comes out of one of the taps. Copious amounts of wine. Just starts drinking it, and you guys are all kind of surrounded by other kith who have all brought their own mugs and cups, and they're all like pouring like wine in outside of this tavern. During Candle Feast above table, everyone can always get a token whenever you invite someone to sit with you. Spend a token to ask, "Is there anything else you need?" and help out in the kitchen.
Uh, yeah, I think after like the first like round of wine, the heat is starting to get to Baloo, so he would just kind of like and take off his big overcoat so that he's like doesn't sweat and drown.
Oh, because the
Um,
wine, because the heat from the wine.
Wine and the heat. This I'm describing the sweltering heat.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, from the yes,
yes,
from
yes.
the
Sorry, the
yeah, there's like
stifling heat.
there's
Describing
like
the stifling
blasts
heat.
of
Yep.
heat coming out from the various
Yeah, yeah, and
forges
it's
and things.
and he's okay. He's usually fine with wet heat, but dry heat, it just drains him like nobody's business.
Right.
So he is taking it off, and he's uh, I guess taken off his like backpack to put the coat in, but at the same time he will take his little box, like the cabinet of all the spices and
Mm-hmm.
herbs and blah blah, and he would look to the others and say, I see there is need for assistance in the kitchen, and I think I will help our hosts. While you go and find us some space.
Okay, so you head into the public house, to the tavern to see if you guys can to help out in the kitchen and to see if you can get some space for everyone to rest. Kimbra is going to say, "That sounds like a great idea." Kovala, I'm going to go with Baloo. Are you going to be okay here with everyone else?
I think whenever Kimbra like says Kovala's name, Kovala has their arm wrapped around Garen's, and they're basically like doing the thing you do at weddings.
Oh
They're
yeah.
drinking, like lashed up, and they're chugging wine. And I think whenever, like, oh no, mom's talking to me. It's
Garen's
just
like,
kind of like,
for the
have fun.
audiences. Oh, all right. Enjoy your wine, and like Kimbra heads inside. For the sake of our watchers, Kimbra is a tall, regal white lion with fantastic mane, snow white lion, intense dark blue eyes, wearing I think she's wearing, like, because you guys are traveling pants, leather boots, and then like an overrobe on top of that with a beautiful obi wrapped around it, sash, and like a hooded cloak over that. Uh, and she's just sort of all in like blues that just sort of like contrast the white of her fur. And then Garen is a tall, willowy, wide-eyed gazelle who is wearing puffy pants, a form-fitting sleeveless shirt, and once again a cloak because you guys were coming down the mountain and it was cold. That he just kind of has flipped back. The shirt is white, and the puffy pants are like a really nice uh, dark blue that kind of matches what Kimbra is wearing. Dark blue being kind of the uniform of the hot springs for everybody that works there, and tall horns, and he's just like, did you want me to go with you, boss? No, no, no. Enjoy your wine. As Kimbra heads inside with Bhaloo. Coco, what do you think of this little town that you've encountered? All this wine, all these people.
Yeah. I think it feels at first I think it's a little bit like a lot after being in the hot springs, but I think it starts to feel familiar. Like, oh yes, like this is what it's like to be back in it's a small town, but a busy town, a town where people are out and about and drinking and having fun and celebrating. And I think he's especially enjoying like watching Baloo with Louise because he remembers when Baloo found her and just how confused and panicked he was, and like seeing now, maybe Baloo still feels that way internally, but like how good he is with her and how good he is at responding to her. I think that Coco is mostly watching and mostly focused on that. But I think he's more comfortable than he thought he would be, like being back, like, okay, back on the road, back traveling, back around people again. And he is definitely keeping his eyes as well just on passerbys,
Mm-hmm.
for anyone that he notices or recognizes.
Uh, Across the street from where you are, where everyone's kind of gathering and getting wine from the barrels, is a beautiful, like, two-story building that has a big, like, wide glass window with a display of all of these lovely, ornate lanterns. Some of them are practical, but most of them are like really fancy with all kinds of different colored glass and things. And you can see in front of it a large, like, grizzly bear wearing, a sturdy linen tunic and like a shopkeep's apron, and uh, you know comfy billowing brown pants, and he's just like he's got a little broom and he's just like sweeping the front. And Louise like leans into Coco and is like, should we buy a lantern?
Oh, I think that's a great idea.
I have a bunch of stuff to barter that I got from because barter is kind of the common way people get things. And there's a few places that have money, like the floating mountain, but not places like this. Most people just barter here. Ah, okay. So yeah, that's a yes.
Yes. Now we have to be very careful because all the lanterns are made of glass.
Yeah, and if a lantern falls and it hits the ground too hard, it'll shatter.
Exactly. Do you want to pick one out? There are
I'm
all kinds of different colors and different patterns on them. Is there anyone you see that you like? And Coco will like start to walk her over there.
okay. You head over and she's like, "Oh, look, this one's got rainbow glass. It's so pretty." "Oh, hello. Hi. I'm Jasper. Welcome to my lantern shop. Would you like to come in and look at the lanterns up close?"
Oh, yes, we would love that. Thank you.
Awesome. Please come in, come in, come in. And he like opens the door and you hear cha-ching ching of the bell chime as you all enter. Would anyone else in the group like to join them in the lantern shop or in the kitchen, or would you like to continue walking around? I want to give everybody a chance to kind of explore around as they please. So I'm checking in with Theo, Kovala, and Mel.
Mel, what you doing?
Getting a delivery of band-aids from a child. I think Mel would like the glass is pretty and everything, and she does work with that. But I think like the display might be a little too ostentatious
Mhm.
for her. Like it's like not to say that it's bad, but it's just a little bit too much for her. So I think she'd be like, "Oh, that's really nice," and like keep looking and try to find like a more low key place to stop and like do window shopping and people watching with.
Okay. So Mel, you're kind of like heading off to find like another place to look. Like, how about you, Kovala? Where are you? Garen's gonna follow you, obviously. Um,
So
Kovala is going to look at Garen, and Kovala, upon like taking on more of like features of their mother, they're usually like golden mane has started to have like these little white streaks in it,
mhm.
and they have like a little bit of white peppering around their snout, like
Yep.
of their nose, like that's starting to fade outwards towards the rest of their face. But Kovala, like, just kind of like leaning over towards Garen, it's just like, do you want to do you want to go see what Theozander's doing? And then we can test like our poetry skills? Did you know that that's the one that taught me how to write you?
What, really? Theo? Huh.
Yeah. He taught me how to use the big fancy words that will express the fact that I really, really, really like you a lot.
Garen's gonna make a move that he can always do. He's gonna ask, "What do you need right now?"
To spend time with you. Also
Okay.
for you to meet people outside of your job so you're not just shadowing my mom all the time.
Oh, that's true. Okay, let's go check in with Theo. And Theo, you are approached by Kovala and Garen the Gazelle.
I think at this point, Theo's been kind of looking around and seeing Bhaloo go off into the kitchens, and Coco and Louise head into Jasper's shop. And I think he's kind of curious because when there's lots of organization happening, he's seeing the townsfolk get ready for a candle feast, and there's lots of things being set up. He's curious what the kids are doing at this time. In some places, they get in and help, and sometimes they have their own space to hang out and just play. And so I think he's kind of just sort of like still looking around and kind of maybe sort of walking with Mel as well down the street, just kind of looking out and seeing how people do this thing together.
Okay. I think most of the children, from what you can see, are spending time around the Mountain Goat Storyteller, kind of bouncing between getting food and then going to the Mountain Goat Storyteller. As you're walking around, some of them are helping, and it's generally the kids are mostly captivated by hearing the stories and eating food that they're not normally. They're just sort of indulging quite a bit. And Kovala and Garen catch up to you and Mel and are like, "Oh, I guess we're doing some window shopping before the sun goes down."
Yeah, so I suppose while the sun's up, but I mean the lanterns will probably help us window shop late into the evening if we would want to.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Like I remember every time like we would go out for walks or fly, it would be amazing seeing this place. Looks like stars from the distance from the top of the mountain. It's strange. And he's gonna wax metaphorical, which is something he can always do. And it's just like it's so strange, like on a clear night, seeing the stars above and the stars below, kind of like you're swimming through an ocean of the sky, or maybe like a piece of the sky fell. Do you think the people here were trying to reflect the sky?
Do you think the sky is trying to reflect the people?
Oh, Mel, that's I never really thought of it that way. I don't know.
Maybe we're all just stars in space looking to shine out and be seen.
Mm.
I didn't know you were so poetic, Mel. I feel like you've been holding out on me all this time.
No, it's your influence, Theo. Clang says there's something here that he wants me to find, but he doesn't know what. So that's why I'm just looking and trying. When he says, "Hey, look here," I'm just gonna figure out what he wants.
So Clang starts kind of almost like moving and to there's like a part like indoor outdoor forge where like the forge is like wide open, and you see this big like brown no, excuse me, black and white furred mountain goat, who is, similar to Jasper, is wearing like a sleeveless tunic, because, sleeves catch fire, and a leather apron, and similar of the comfortable, like kind of wool, these kind of sort of like wool linen blend puffy pants that you start noticing that everybody is wearing because they're still breathable, but like also like when they're out and about, they can still be kind of warm. And he's just like clang, clang, and you see him just hammering away on an anvil. You see these rows and rows of iron tools everywhere. You see one of the iron golems kind of standing like sentinel, and you could swear that the golem's head is moving very slowly, but you never see it moving. You always see you look and the head is moved, like almost like a not to make a Doctor Who reference, but almost like a like a like one of
It's
the
a little angelic.
it's a little angelic. It's a little bit like the weeping angels from Doctor Who, in the sense that like when you look again, the head is turned and it's always in your direction, and it's always within plausible deniability, and Clang is like there, him. Wow, he's incredible. Oh, here,
Yeah,
here,
he
here, here,
is.
here, here. Hello.
Mel says, "Yeah, he is," out loud so everybody can hear.
Who's what?
Oh, Clang wants us to go talk to this specimen. And like Mel hasn't really shown much interest in like anybody. Like Theo's known her the longest, but like has never really flirted or anything. But there is a sparkle in her eye.
He does say hi and wave at the group. Hello. As he's going to just jump headfirst into action. Something he can always do.
Yep, he can always do that. Oh, hi. Nice
Well,
setup you got here.
Thank you so much. Oh, I like your hammer. And he points at Clang. May I?
Like Mel
No
looks
is
down
completely
and-
acceptable.
yeah, here, just I guess she's never willingly handed Clang over to anybody before. So
Is it
it's
just
very
me?
awkward.
No, I don't think so.
No. He holds the hammer and looks at it, does the Thor flip, catches it. Wow. And like you can sense Clang is vibrating with joy at being in this goat's hands and Luther's hands. Hello, my name is Luther. It's a pleasure to meet you. And your name? And he like hands Clang back over to you.
I am Melicent the Brave, the Smith. I'm Mel. You can call me Mel.
No.
Friend, this is
So
Theo.
are you? Hello. You look familiar. Are you related to Kimbra, the Keeper of the Springs? By chance? Not to say that all lions are related, but you bear a very, very strong resemblance.
That's my mom.
Oh, well, excellent. Oh, hi, Garen. And he's like, oh, hello, Luther.
That's my
Luther's-
boyfriend.
Lucky you. I've given him some. He comes up for just. I've given him some of my massages. Yeah, I get really, really sore. So I have to go up to the hot springs and get the muscles loosened up every now and then. Most of us do, actually. And he kind of points as you realize that Mel has kind of led you all into like Smith's Row. Like there's just like you look around and then you realize like this is one of many like there's a white smithing place that does silver work, there's a gold smithing place, there's blacksmithing, like there's all kinds of different smithing, and you guys are like in an artisan's row of places. It's like so that's how I know young Garen here. So are you Mel, are you settling here? Are you setting up shop? Do you need help looking for a place? You're obviously a journeyman with a hammer like that. So, who did you study under?
I taught myself and kind of. I mean, my hammer's name is Clang. He
Nice
kind
to
of
meet you,
taught me
Clang.
as well. Yeah, just intuitive stuff. Mel looks very sketchy because it's like the small gods and you know, it's a very personal thing.
Oh,
But-
so you got tutelage directly from a small god.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That is quite impressive. Would you like to see some of my work, everyone?
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry. If you guys don't want to look at his stuff, that's okay.
And I think Mel, you should show Luther here some of your handiwork. It's quite impressive.
I would love to see some of your work.
Especially that new thing that you've been fiddling with. I can't remember what you called it in the end, but that newfangled thingy. Sorry, I'm not. Smithing is not one of my teaching areas.
The stuff that you made that my mom wants to use to make lunch boxes out of.
Yeah, it's a new kind of material. It's clear. It's just something I've been working with, and she pulls out the tiffin box that she's making for Louise, and it's each. So a tiffin box is like a multi-tiered, kind of like a multi-tiered pail. That you can take apart different components of it, and it's mostly used for food and like little knickknacks and stuff.
Mhm.
But this one, the material is clear, but each layer is a different color. So there's 5 layers, and it's like a little rainbow with each layer. And she just kind of pulls it out of her backpack and hands it out. And it's like, I'm having a problem with the fittings and making sure that that these clasps can work still and will be able to be used over time and not degrade on the rest of the material. And goes into a moment of like geeking out about this stuff with Luther.
This is incredible. I love this material. And he's going to propose an alternate approach. Mel, I'm going to hand it back over to you. What alternate approach does he come up with that just clicks in your head to make this project better?
I think he proposes, instead of using a hard material like iron or steel, to use like a chitinous material like the stag beetle stuff,
Mhm.
something that will flex more with the plastic than a hard, metal would.
Uh, and yeah, I have some stag beetle chitin that I think would work really, really well. Uh, it'll be more flexible. It'll make this far more manageable. I have plenty of extra in stock. Would you like some?
Oh, absolutely. And I have a little bit of the materials left over, and I can tell you the formula. It's not too difficult, especially with a setup like you have here.
That sounds great. Everyone, please have a seat. I have some a plate of Candle Feast snacks over there, and he points to like a workstation, and there's like a platter of like, you know, grilled meat. This is like a meats and cheeses and crackers and breads and things for you all, and he like points it out. I'm just gonna borrow them for a while. And Garen looks at Theo and Kovala, and I'm like, oh, I feel like something's going on here.
Have fun, you two.
Where are you going? Oh. Oh, I thought
Oh,
you were talking to us. And like Garen like blushes as he realizes Theo was talking about the other two. Are you kidding me? We're talking crafting. We're gonna have a blast. And as he says blast, the camera pans over back to the lantern shop. Once again, everyone else at the table, you're more than welcome to use place moves to interact with the scene as is appropriate. So Jasper, the grizzly bear lantern shopkeeper, is showing Coco and Louise, and I will also say Boomy is there as well, kind of in the back. Coco's an old friend, and Mom has got to keep an eye out while Dad is cooking. But for the most part, she's kind of looking around, like, throughout the entire shop while one eye is on
Yeah.
Louise.
I'm trying to like keep both eyes on Louise so that way she can go and have a moment. I'm giving Mom a break.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, she's like, "Oh, so you like these multicolored glass ones? Let me show you something." And then Jasper grabs a candle and puts it in and lights it. And you can't see it really well because it's during the day. It's a little better on the inside, but look at the walls. And Coco, you see patches of colored light reflecting off of the walls, shining out of the lantern with all these colorful panes of glass that he has. Wow. Do you see it, Coco?
Yeah. Yes, I see it. It's very pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Thank you so much for bringing me here. Coco, take a token for doing something kind for someone else without expecting anything in return. Actually, two. One for bringing Louise here, and one for giving Mom Boomy time to like shop.
Yeah. And I think that I would, in kind of continuing to talk to Louise, kind of ask her, like, is that the one that you want? Or do you want to look around? We could ask. So can you remind me Jasper's pronouns?
Oh, he, him.
Okay.
Or-
We could always ask this nice gentleman who's been showing us around if we could try the light out in some more of the lanterns. If you want to
Mhm.
see any others.
Jasper is going to point out a truth everyone else has been ignoring. Um, and he gets down, looking at Louise. Would you like something that's a little bit smaller? Something that you can carry? And she's like, oh, do you have smaller lanterns that I could carry? He's like, I sure do. Come on, folks. Let me show you some of my smaller models. And it takes you over to a corner of the shop that has these like small, like child size lanterns that are specifically sized for children. Still has colored glass. Some of them don't have glass at all. Some of them just have like a place to hold a candle in it, and it's just like all metal. And she's just looking. Oh, why don't these have glass? Oh, combination of safety. Yeah, safety. And also so that you can change the panes out and put different glass in it if you want. See? And he points to this little area where you can slot in glass. Well, I really like this one, but like, I'd like some glass in it. Well, if you go down the street to my glassmaker, I think she would be more than happy to give you whatever color glass you like. Her name is Samara. Oh, really? Well, then I want this one. And he points to one that's like one of the empty ones without glass. It's like, all right, come on over here. Let me get it wrapped up for you. So I have these stones, and then she just starts kind of bartering with him with all the various different like knickknacks and things that she's picked up around. Coco, is there anything you would like to do while Louise is yammering at Jasper?
Not in the store. I think in the store, I'm mostly still kind of just keeping an eye on her. If it seems like Louise, like if it seems like she's got it, she knows how to do this, she knows what she's doing, I kind of just like keep a step back, keep an eye on her. I do have something for when we leave the store.
I will say this: that name is familiar to you,
Okay.
Samara.
Okay.
It's very, very familiar, especially considering where this village is. You're not sure if it's the same Samara, but I just want to let you know that it's peeking in your mind. The camera briefly leaves the group, this group, and heads over into the kitchens with Kimura and Bhaloo, just having a great time. What's the scene look like with all of these different kith and this big kitchen in this tavern cooking up the public feast?
I think Bhaloo would have and generally in the middle of helping Hero started up a camp mess song, which was done usually like when preparing food. And hungry they come, but they will be happy, for we are. My sense of tune is completely fucked.
No, it's okay. No, everybody just kind of joins in as you guys all kind of sing like a cooking song.
And whatever the mood be, and whatever may be the mood, we'll always have the right food.
Yeah, just cooking around, and Kimber is like, you really have a knack for this.
I did spend quite a bit of time as the head chef of most of the messes that I was part of.
Well, if I had known that you were this good and this efficient, I would have offered you a job at the hot springs.
Well, I did do enough good freelance work, especially since it was free.
Well, I'm sure that we could set up a barter for next season. But right now, the resort is closed. As you guys are both taking just like big like dishes of like meat and breads and setting them out on
Yeah,
tables that they're
I
setting up outside.
Garen, while he's really good as a massage, my back needs a little more impact.
Garen is a lifesaver when it comes to those massages. And I think he's definitely going to keep my daughter very, very happy for a long, long, long time.
Of that I am certain.
So, and you guys are having this conversation as you're like moving trays and stirring pots, and Kimbra is like,
Like it's the
Bhaloo.
Yan can cook, like, the
Yeah.
cleaver, like, like, and everything is cut in julienne, like, precisely.
Yes, yes. Bhaloo, can I ask you a personal question?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, we have enjoyed your hospitality, and I can only try and return the grace.
What do you need right now?
What do I need?
You've had your relaxation. We're going to have a wonderful holiday, and the road is before you.
Hmm. As is my purpose, mostly, I want to see where my young one goes next. I am excited to see what she chooses to do with the time that we have together. This is one of the reasons why we have become good friends, Kibra. I have, I must admit, I am not particularly prepared for being uh, a father to a daughter, and now that daughter is growing into getting closer to the dreaded teens. I'm not sure I'm ready for this.
No one really is. I will say this, though. You and your friends, you do know that there is something different about you and Kovala and Theo and Coco.
Touched by the gods,
The
connection
kind of.
goes.
I'm not ashamed to admit that I am a witch. I have been practicing the old ways since I was a cub. But the kind of magic that you and your friends command is very old and very ancient and very powerful.
Hmm.
Do you know why?
I'm unclear when is the first time all of this happened. But suddenly, one day, when I was making a pot of tea, the world stirred with me as I was stirring the pot.
Hmm.
The kettle resonated on somehow. I felt connected to something older than I could conceive. There was a question: what is comfort? And in that moment, contextually, I thought the best answer would be tea.
Hmm.
And after that, my tea has changed. But
I've met many travelers, Audie. You and your friends and several others are touched by this. And maybe the why isn't important. I just want to make sure that you all look out for one another, because there are more. Saria, I don't know if you've met her. Samael,
Yes, yes, yes. I have. Blessed are we who walk the path together, for though the destination may be unknown, the company is what keeps the road together.
the time of heroes has passed, but perhaps the time of travelers truly has come. As Kimbra puts a reassuring hand on your shoulder, and you look in her eyes, and she's going to make a move. Protect someone else from the world. And you feel a warmth on your shoulder as for a moment the weight of what all of this means, what being a traveler with a capital T means, what being blessed by the venerable and forgotten gods, what that means, just melts away just for a day on the hope that you will think more on it as your journeys continue. And with that, I would like to go on a nice 10-minute break, drink some water, use the restroom, and when we return to our journey, the sun will be set and we'll be checking in with Coco. See you all soon.
This is the hospital ship SS Hope, Maritime Mobile W8OLJ in the Java Sea.
One.
Hello, everyone. We have now returned to the land of Hythe and our interlude of A Season's Oath. We're going to start off with Coco. So, Coco, you were going to go kind of off sort of on your own, leaving the shop? Where do you go?
Yes.
What do you do?
Well, I think the end goal is to take Louise and go to the glass shop so that
Yes,
she can
yes,
go and get some glass to fill her new lantern. But
absolutely. Yeah.
I think that and kind of combining, I'm gonna take one of the things about the place. It's not a thing the place can do, but rather one of the aesthetics of the place,
Yeah,
and take
absolutely.
it literally.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I can always do is reveal that someone you once knew is here. One of
Oh,
the aesthetics of the place is a sign that someone was once here. And I want to kind of combine those, not that someone I know is here currently, but that I find a sign that someone I knew was once here. Especially because
ah,
there is someone in particular that I have been looking for that for a while I didn't know if he was alive or dead. And then
right.
in meeting Bhaloo recently, Bhaloo had told me that he had heard that this person is alive and is on the run from something.
Can I help? I had
Yes.
an idea while you were in the lantern shop, but I didn't want to interrupt you. But you'll also get a token if we do it this way, which could be fun because then you could use it. So upon you all leaving the lantern shop, this place can always isolate someone from everyone else and give them a token. And I think it happens because while you're having that moment of Coco in the lantern shop looking at all of these different pieces and all of these different color schemes and all of these like panes that have yet to be put in, at the mention of, oh, there's a glassmaker who you vaguely recognize the name, your eyes are then drawn to someone carrying a lantern in the walkway with their little group, and they're coming from the direction that the glassmaker would have been in, but it catches your eye because that specific color scheme relates to the person you've been looking for. It's either the way that the colors are blended together, maybe it's the pattern, maybe it's the way that if this lantern was in the darkness would something notable would be shining through, but it was something that from the times that you knew before that always was something that reminded you of them, and it's almost a sign. It's like that maybe they've been here. So to add into your fun.
Yes. Yes.
Right. All right.
I'd,
Take a token.
I'd also like to contribute in that moment when Coco's mind went to Bhaloo in that instance. I think I'm going to try and not take it as literally, but I'm going to use this play scan always. Uh, so in that moment when you think of Baloo, you just hear, "Do you want to go deeper?" And I will give them a token if they descend further into their mind than they might have otherwise.
Yeah. Okay, to build on Diamond adding the detail of the light in the lantern, I mean that works perfectly because the person that Coco is looking for, I think has been mentioned before because he is a craftsman, and he's the person who actually made Coco last time pulled out his bag. It's bigger than this. This is just my
Oh,
little one. That he keeps different like trinkets and gifts and things in. And it's actually the person who made him the bag. And there is a pattern
oh,
on the bag, and I think the pattern in the lantern is like reminiscent of the pattern on the bag. And it's one of those like technically anyone, like it could be a coincidence, anyone could have done this, anyone could have arranged those colors there. It might not have a meaning, but it is also so familiar that I think again it just instantly draws Coco to it, of like that, again, having this person on his mind, like that has to be him, like as a craftsman he must have been here, like maybe he was engaged in working with some of the like craftspeople here, and he was sharing some of his like patterns, his techniques, his knowledge with the people here. And so I think that's kind of the initial draw, and then also yeah, like isolating away from, I had this intention. I was gonna go and walk with Luis over to the glass shop, but I think instead Coco starts to like walk out to like is gonna go and try and like ask the person with the lantern where they got it, or more specifically, I think like where they got the glass from, like if it was from this shop, if it was from somewhere else. So I'm gonna do that first, I think.
Yeah, the person looks up. They're another mountain goat, just to keep to the theme of this place. And they were like, "Oh, this? Well, I actually got it directly from. I got it directly from Samara. She is a lantern maker. Sometimes she sells them over at Jasper's shop, but sometimes you can get it straight from the workshop that she shares with Dorian the glassmaker. I can tell you where they are.
Thank you. That would be very helpful.
Yeah, just go like one stop over, and there's gonna be some like blue and red and purple silk banner that is right outside of their artisan studio, where she puts together the lanterns and Dorian makes glass.
Thank you so much. That is so helpful.
How happy candle feast.
Happy Candle Feast to you as well.
We're gonna jump, right? There's like a jump cut, and you're in front of this, indoor outdoor studio. There's like some outdoor areas because like dealing with fire and melting glass, you're gonna want to do that outdoors. But then there's also like an indoor part, and you see kind of in a window, someone you haven't seen in many years, and that is Samara. It's a mountain lion. And you knew her as one of the greatest swordsmiths in all of the rebellion. And you see her older, of course, putting together a lantern with the glass with that same pattern.
Yeah. I think there's a moment where Coco's kind of just standing there, I think watching, like, as she works, almost not wanting to disturb her, but wanting to talk to her so badly. And I think, too, the whole journey walking over here, he'd been thinking so much about, in particular, about Clarence, about his queer platonic partner who he's been looking for all this time. But I think in hearing Bhaloo's words, in hearing the echo of that invitation to go deeper and watching her work, he also is reminded of the fact that, again, he's got this bag that he keeps with him. Most of the things in here are things that other people made and gifts from other people, but he remembers, he's always been one for, like, his creativity is expressed through stories. But when he and Clarence were together, he used to try to craft, he used to try to create, he used to try and make things, and they usually turned out really bad or took a really long time. But he was always willing to try these things and to attempt and put effort in. And, Clarence always loved whatever he made, even if he was like, Coco's like, no, I know that looks really bad. And I think as he's watching, there is kind of this like twinge inside of him of the fact that he hasn't made anything in such a long time. And he like has a moment watching her of almost wondering if that's something he could do, if even, at his age to pick up a new skill. But I think he has kind of a moment of a thought of like, I wonder if I could arrange the glass in a way that she's doing it. And he looks at it through a bit of a different lens as he watches her. And then I get a token for going deeper.
Going deeper, yeah.
I started with 0 tokens at the beginning of this, so I'm just collecting them.
Yeah.
I started with 10. I have to give them out somehow.
Samara looks up and then gets this expression on her face like she's seen a ghost, and then carefully puts the lantern down, gets up, comes out the door, and is like, Coco, is that
Yes.
you?
It's me. I know it's been a very long time.
It has. Come on in. Come on in. I know it's. Come on, come on, come on. And she goes over and pulls you into a hug and says, "Why weren't you here a couple of months ago?"
I've been nearby actually. I've been resting just up the hill at the hot springs.
And then what was your friend's name again? It was
Yeah, Clarence.
Clarence was here.
A couple months ago?
Yeah, Clarence had been staying with me. That's come in. And he comes and said, "Look, Clarence was making these for me with me," and points out these like a stack
Mhm.
of glass panes with the symbol on it. Clarence has taken up glassmithing and came here to spend time with me and help me make more product. You know, there's always firelights coming in from all over Hythe. There's plenty of people lost, and it's so good to see you. I'm so sorry you missed him.
Uh, yeah, so am I. I can't believe he was right here down the mountain when I've been so close by for the last couple of months. That is truly unfortunate timing.
Well, look, the road is open, and I know where he went.
Oh, yes, I was going to ask you that if
Uh, she is going to make a move. Hold tight to comfort and refuse to let it go. I will tell you where he is. And you can see like some mistiness in her eyes as she's sort of holding you, kind of disbelieving that you're here in person, and says, Candlemas, or Candle Feast. Would you, and would you spend Candle Feast uh, with me and my friends and family, and then I'll let you
of
go on your
course.
way. And
Yeah, absolutely. I am here to spend the holiday here, and it's a holiday of family, blood, and chosen. And I think that all of us, no matter how we were connected during the war, are family forever.
well, it's the city of Azure took a whole bunch of these glass panes and went to the city to go trade in the great Cerulean market.
Okay, then I think I know where I'm going next. But as excited and eager as I am to do that, it is also good to see you. I want to hear about how you've been. Obviously, not making swords anymore.
No, please have a seat. Uh, and she's going to reflect on something someone else has said. You mentioned not making swords anymore, and he says, "Well, he got to the end of the war, and Laura, my wife, you remember her?
Yes, yeah.
She looks up on the wall, and you see on the wall hanging there in display Laura's sword. that you know Samara forged. And it's at that point you realize that's a memorial. Laura fell. Laura fell in the final battle. And and she's going to overflow with emotion. And I just couldn't forge swords anymore.
I understand. What you're making here now is beautiful.
These lanterns are so wonderful, and I have a great community here. And I didn't think, I almost left. This place, the mine, everything has always been about. I still have veterans coming to pay their respects. Every now and then I have petty kings and warlords, the few that are left in Hythe, asking me to make a weapon, and they just don't understand how much we've all lost.
No.
I'm glad that you're here.
It's good to be here.
And she takes your hands in her paws, and her paws are so warm from working in the workshop. We are going to drink too much wine and eat too much food tonight.
Well, of course, it's a holiday.
I would like to move from this very succinct moment where you feel this very heavy but warm connection to your old friend Samara. The sun goes down and the town illuminates, as been said before, like a sea of stars. You are all treated to the happy coincidence that Luther, Dorian, Jasper, and Samara all not only know one another, but are family found and born. Dorian the glassmaker, who you heard mentioned briefly earlier in the street, is Luther's nephew, who makes beautiful glassworks. Jasper, which are used by Samara to assemble lanterns. And occasionally Luther helps create the lanterns, and Jasper sells them. And you are all invited to their candle feast celebration as honored guests, and are offered the hospitality of their large shared home to rest your heads. I would like to ask everyone if you would describe to me one or two items of the feast spread that Samara, Luther, Dorian, and Jasper have gotten for all of you, and that Bhaloo and Kimbra were able to fetch from the tavern across the street for everyone. Who would like to go first?
I think a nice golden crusty pie is set in front of Theozander by Kimbra. And the crust is flaky but very sturdy and solid. But on the top of it is actually a kind of bread. And in the bread, it has like almost the visual of like if you use focaccia bread to build a crust around something, to encase something. And on the top of it are all of these little sprigs of different things from the garden in the resort. Because Kimbra likes being a little bit witchy and very caring. And so I think our resident teacher, who has been learning a new thing and a new skill to be able to teach people, might appreciate having a very herbaceous bread pie. And inside the bread pie, once it's cut open, it is full of all of these like fruits and vegetables that have been made to have almost like a meat-ish texture. Because while Kovala and Kimbra are lions and are used to having more protein-dense diets, it's like having people around us who are not as much. You still get like the nice chewy, like tension, I guess, from the bread because the crust has a good chew to it, but then you get the flavorful, you get the like the filling from the actual like insides of this pie. But all of the spices and things, it's all things that would remind you of sitting in that like the little garden or the little greenhouse in the hot springs with just a little bit of Bhaloo's like spiced like touch in there somewhere. Because I believe these two spent a lot of time in the kitchen together, and Blue's got one of the most amazing traveling spice things that Kimper's probably ever seen.
Yes.
And
It
so that's
is
put in,
extensive.
yes.
Yes.
So that's going in front of Theozander.
Yeah, and I think Theo is excited and looking at the herbs, and I think he spent some time with Kimbra, like because herbology is something that he's interested in, but hasn't doesn't have a lot of knowledge in. So I think he's really excited to be presented with this pie and actually be able to recognize a couple of the items. So yes, he's very touched and charmed. And so I think another dish that is here because it's getting cold and chilly as chill is settling in. I think there's like a really hearty like curry, like it's like creamy. Like I'm thinking of like a masaman curry type thing with like big chunks of potato and carrot and onion. And it's just really like warm and soothing. And I think it's super fragrant. Like it's got lots of, I think, Baloo's done his touch again. Perhaps there's some, bay leaves or something in there that's just like really fragrant. And it's a nice savory addition.
All right, Mel. What's one of the things on the spread?
It's a side dish that's basically a forager's fancy. Different types of mushrooms and nuts, fern heads, late berries, literally anything that you could get going through the forest and just gathering by hand. So it's kind of like a mixture of sweet and savory and spicy and all of these things. And a nice side dish that's not too heavy.
Okay. All right. Just keeping tally. Kovala, take 2 tokens. One for describing a small moment of beauty, and then one for doing something kind for someone else without expecting anything in return, since you made a very specific dish for Theozander. Theo, also take 1 point for describing a small moment of beauty, and same thing with you, Mel. Bhaloo, the spread.
Bhaloo would have thought if he's been doing healthy things for a long time and I have not indulged myself. So I think Bhaloo for this dinner party would have brought the most decadent marble bundt cake that is dripping chocolate, and in the center of the cavity in the bundt cake, it is just a mixture of different nuts that are crushed to just the right size where they will have a very satisfying crunch, and that is also, it is, the whole of top of it is drizzled with a powdered cinnamon that has another little bit of powdered sugar added to it. And I will tell you that this is going to make you feel things.
All right. Another token for you. And Coco, what is part of the spread?
Yeah. I mean, my idea involves Bhaloo specifically since he was in the back cooking, so you can add to this if there's anything that comes to mind. But I'm thinking because we have 3 people here who all like participated in the war, even though none of us fought in it
Yeah,
directly.
yeah.
Mhm.
But all probably have eaten Baloo's cooking before. If something that you made is just like is not the exact same as something that we would always have, but like reminiscent of something that was like a staple or that you would always make at like various
Yeah.
camps that we've definitely had before, but now you've gotten the chance to make it and like add more seasoning to it and kind of like make it and perfect it over time and over the years, but it's definitely got that reminiscent memory of
Ooh.
this being something that we've all definitely shared before in a very different context.
Yeah, what do you think, Baloo? What do you think it was? A lentil soup,
Um,
Samoas. Um,
I was actually thinking more something to that. Well, first of all, when he would have seen Samara, like, he would have gone into a kind of deep bow and just gone, Forge Master, it has been some time.
mm. What? So,
Uh,
so what are you feeding the Forge Master?
I am going to be, so there's it was a quick food that Baloo had to make. It's not it has to be one meal in a whole package,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? So it was like minced like thorax meat and
Mm-hmm.
onions and potatoes, all like julienned and like mashed together into
Oh.
like almost like a patty, which has like further some vegetables etc strewn in, and little last, like the thing that he would have had and added to this would have been little shavings of coconut, and then
Ooh.
like a base of coconut milk to the base, uh,
Mm.
you know just a little bit, so it's not dry gravy, but it's not wet gravy, it's just it's there, it's wholesome, and it is an entire meal in itself.
Mm.
And I will give both my tokens to Coco because I have too many tokens. Uh,
Nope, nope. They're yours. They're yours. You
ah,
can't just give tokens to people.
damn
You
it.
gotta. They are yours. Spend them. There's moves you can make.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
um.
Yeah, I think
So
at some point, like quietly during the time, Coco will make a comment just to Baloo about like that there's not much food I miss from those old days, but I do miss your cooking in particular.
yeah. Uh,
My brother, you always know how to make me, well, attempt to make me blush.
I will say contributing to the spread. Boomy and Samara and Kimbra have made like 3 massive trays of steamed basmati rice. One is flavored with jasmine and is a vibrant yellow color and is incredibly fragrant. There's another like big, and when I talk tree, I'm talking like the long uh, trays that oh god, what do we call them, the like the aluminum trays, like that you have, yeah. So one is just like white jasmine rice, one is spiced with saffron, and then another one is spiced with saffron but has a whole bunch of steamed vegetables like peas and carrots and things mixed in with the rice to give it like even more flavor and a few extra spices. um
Pulao,
uh
I
for
think it's
now,
called.
right?
Pul,
Uh,
pul, Pulao. The dish is called
Pulao.
pulao.
Oh, it's
Pulao,
called
yeah.
pulao. Oh, okay. And in Puerto Rico, we call it arroz con chachicha, which is rice with
So
sausage.
I
Yeah,
went with the biryani theme, so I assumed this would be the pulao equivalent.
yeah, yeah. It was just, but they've got these trays of rice, and then there's other things. There's sweetbreads. There is plenty of a couple barrels of wine from that same tavern. There is fruit juice for Louise. There is hot chocolate as well, and mulled cider. and just a long table in this like kind of cozy, large cabin that is decorated with all these beautiful lanterns and candles. And you're all there enjoying food and comfort. There's a fireplace nearby. Everyone is just kind of there with one another, enjoying each other's company. Um, I will say, at one point in the night, it is just the five of you by the fire. I will say Garen is there, but mostly to be intertwined with Kovala. Um, your other fellow travelers, Boomy and Louise and Samara and such, they're all over either at the table. Um, I think maybe Louise is passed out, is in a little sugar crash. Um, and Boomy's carrying her upstairs. But with the exception of Garen, who's just going to sit there and be quietly happy, uh, what do the five of you share with one another by the fire and the hospitality of friends old and new?
I think kind of cupping one of the the big mugs, uh, which still seems kind of small in his massive paws. Uh, he'd kind of just be drinking, and he'd kind of look over, and I think he'd look to Coco. Brother, tell me, did you find or hear anything about him?
I did actually. I'm almost surprised how fast, but yes, I have a location to go to next after this.
That is good. He's still all right. Do we know anything more about him?
He was here a few months ago. He was actually helping the glassmaker. So I'm assuming that he's okay enough at least to have been here, to have been working fairly recently. So I know he was here, I know where he went, and I think that's my next step on my next journey.
Is it all right for me to tell you, Coco, that I am not particularly pleased with Clarence right now? I know anyone has their own things that they have to process and deal with, but I have seen what your parting has done to you, and that is something that I am not going to be able to easily forgive him for. Running away from something that can only be healed when you are together. Well, not only. I'm still irritated with him.
Yeah, I know he's not running from me. He's running from all of it, right? All of the
I
memories,
can understand. I can understand.
but I can understand why you would be irritated at him. But what did everyone else find around the town? I got a
Yes.
little bit lost. I don't think I managed to see very much of this place yet.
There, I've only seen from the streets, but all of the crafts seem to be of exquisite care and attention. I'm sure that I would love to see the shops in the morning. Did any of you pick anything out?
Garen is like, I got Kovala and I'm matching lanterns.
No.
Oh, that's so
Simp.
sweet.
He just laughs. And this is something that has become, I think, a running joke. Like occasionally, Bhaloo will call Garen, and then like Bhumi will just come and like like just pat him on the arm, and like the big bear just melts into goo, and like yes dear, like even so. But yeah,
I think Garen's going to give advice on what someone else should say, and say, Mel, you should tell everyone about your new friend. And you hear Luther's deep booming laugh as he's like, you know how when you're at a party and someone's back at the table and someone says a funny joke and you just hear Luther's, yeah, chink,
oh, this was a moment I would have liked to have thrown in. Right, Luther is the grizzly bear, right?
No, Jasper's the grizzly bear.
Jasper's the grizzly bear.
Luther's the big mountain goat.
The mountain goat, right? So Jasper, when Baloo would have met Jasper, there would be like almost a visible, like just relief. He's no longer the biggest person in the room. Like so, he would have just like bear hugged Jasper. Like it was just an immediate like, yeah, like the quickest bromance that ever happened.
Right, of course.
Kovala, I'm going to use something I can always do, which is ask, have you heard the news? And I am going to say, mostly as if I'm talking to Coco. It's like, well, I mean, have you heard the news that apparently the blacksmith, craftsman, mountain goat guy was really impressed with Melicent the Brave's new thing that she made? I mean, and like Kovala is sitting on the floor, like basically leaning up against Garen's legs, and is pretty much like very smugly like just spreading this news.
Yep, every friend group has one of those.
It is Kovala.
Yeah, that's Kovala. Yeah, so we were just walking and Clang really likes him. He's nice. He showed me his forge. It was clean, which is a good sign. He's really nice. I like him. I was thinking about so I can do this thing where I fly for a little bit, and I was thinking about asking him maybe if he wanted to see what the city looks like from like up above, like if he wanted to go with me. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yes, do it.
I agree.
Me too, Garen says.
Absolutely.
Baloo, you're kind of like the most romanciest of us all.
Oh, I did it.
Oh, okay.
Say yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a yes one or if that was you fell asleep for a quick second again one. So just gotta check in.
Don't call me old. I'm not old.
But you are old.
Distinguished.
The entire frame of like Baloo, like gets a rock and like cracks down the middle. Like.
Just spend a token to ease Baloo's pain for a moment to be like, getting old is a beautiful thing, and sometimes it's painful too. But I think you would look very distinguished with a little bit of salt and pepper fur going on. I think you would carry it very well.
Okay, this time now we're actually brushing. I will also like to spend a token to listen to the shared wisdom of the small and forgotten gods and ask the table what they tell you. Or they tell me.
Okay.
As we are in this beautiful city that is nestled into the crook of a mountain, lit by moonlight and lantern light from below, in this like beautiful twilight of melding hues and the stars above, a fire in front of us, all of us with some form of steam coming from warm beverages because it's starting to get cold.
Mhm.
What do the small and forgotten gods tell us about found and actual founding?
I'm going to go around the table because I love this move so much. And the four of you, let's, with of course your guide, um, let's what do the small and forgotten gods say to Baloo in this moment? Coco? And once you've kind of shared, go ahead and popcorn it to another one of your fellow players. Not Baloo though. Baloo's the
Yeah.
one getting the message.
Makes sense, makes sense. Yeah. Um, I think that there's a moment, maybe before they say anything, where it's less of a what they say and more of the feeling that you get, right? Like as you're kind of describing this moment, the steam coming off of the drinks, all of us have been talking, and I think that everything kind of just goes silent for a second.
But one of Baloo's ears flicks.
Yeah. And kind of like in the moment. I mean, and silence too, especially silence when you have an almost teenager. Silence can be dangerous silence, right? Because it's, it's like, oh, 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 where's the kid? What's the kid up to, right? Like, what's she into? And I think kind of in that moment and with that like ear flick, you just kind of are able to look around the room and I think see, because we said that Louise had fallen asleep, maybe
Yeah,
less
yeah.
fallen asleep and more kind of like passed out
Yeah.
post sugar. And I think you're able to kind of look and turn and get the last image of Louise being carried up the stairs by your wife, um, which is something that, I imagine seeing your wife and daughter is not something that Baloo ever expected to get since she was dead for so long. And so I think it's just kind of the feeling of the gratitude at having this moment that like could have been missed is kind of like the first thing that your attention gets drawn to before whatever the small and forgotten gods, maybe verbally communicate, and we'll jump that to Kovala.
Uh, I think that the small god, not a forgotten god, but a small god that has been kind of in this moment is actually the little small god of the house. Since we were told that each house kind of has one, they have a little offering plate
Mm-hmm.
where they are given things. I think upon Luis having a connection to spirits and things, that Luis was perceived and that caught the attention of the small gods that are just around this place in curiosity and in fascination of like, oh, you understand us. And then they see like who the caretakers of Luis are, being Baloo and then Boomy. And so then whenever the two of them are going upstairs, it's kind of that little whisper of this is home. This is what it means to stay in one place even for a moment. This is why you travel. This is why you experience new places, to see other people's homes, to know that one day you, your wife, and your daughter will get there as well, and so will your friends. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not tonight, but one day you'll find your own home, and a forgotten god will be yours and become small instead of forgotten instead. And I'm gonna send it to Mel.
All right. The forgotten, somewhat forgotten, definitely small, um, god of fine aging has heard you as it was sprinkling over wines and cheeses and various dishes. Heard you being against the protesting your aging and reminds you that aging is a wonderful thing. With age comes wisdom and new opportunities and all of the experience um, to not make the same mistakes that you made in the past. And
And it
over to Theo. Yeah, last.
Yep. Falls to Theo.
I think basically, continue to pan past the cheeses and the wine and the aged things, and we see, as Boomy and Louise are heading upstairs, we settle on the lantern that Louise got from the lantern shop, and I think for a moment, for at least to the duration, perhaps of dinner, and who knows how much longer, a small forgotten god of a sentient flame has taken up residence on the candle that has been put in the lantern, and there's this flickering warmth that I think that god shares with Bhaloo. Yeah, this notion of like there's always people around you, like even if you feel alone, there's always someone around the corner who's willing to help, or to take your child to a lantern shop, or to come and cook with you in the kitchen, or to host you for a meal, and something of that light and that warmth that sentient flame reminds you of. There's always warmth that you can find in other people as well.
Yeah. I think Baloo would have just had that wispy curly smile on his snout as he would have looked up at his literal home that is going upstairs to put part of itself to sleep. And there's just a gentle kind of sniff and a tear, which he kind of like catches on one of his long claws, and uh, what he's going to do is kind of keep playing around with that kind of drop on his claw as he's listening to others talk, and with one hand, with an expert who's done this enough times, he would spend a token to uh, start making a pot of tea as he sets out tea with one hand, doing all of it while keeping the drop, and then like as he kind of finishes pouring the water in, he will then let the claw go over and let the drop of that tear fall into the tea. But as it goes through, I mean, it gets purified
Of course,
by the
yeah.
magic, blah blah blah. It's sanitary.
There's a little glow in the water when the teardrop goes in, like a visible glow as the magic manifests.
And I will make my pot of tea. Anyone can drink from it. If they do, they will feel healed from all pains, headaches, and nausea. If the tea is cooled and poured over a rash into your scar, the malady will heal and fade. This tea helps in hiding anxiety, depression, nightmares, heartache, dysphoria. It is a thing of deep and pervasive but embracing comfort.
In this moment of comfort, as you are all enjoying this tea, that will make it so that you wake up with no hangovers, despite the copious amounts of wine that you've all been drinking through the night. Is there, before we settle down for the night, I want to check in with all of you. Is there anything else that you would all like to do in this place? All right. We've got Kovala, we've got Mel. All right. Anyone else? All right. Kovala. What would you like to do before turning in for the night?
While everyone has been having their chatterings and whatnots, I think Kovala and Garen have been having a very insightful conversation about the fact that it's kind of easing the worry that Kovala thinks that the moths don't like them anymore because they've gone off to Louise. And then it's probably Garen who's the one who's like, actually, no, she's just covered in sugar.
Mhm.
But then it's kind of this moment of realization of, oh, well, they like her. And whenever Kovala talks with Garen, it's like it's not the really high pitched voice up here. It's like it's Kovala's normal tone in these quiet moments, even around other people. Uh, and Kovala wants Garen's help in gifting one of the moths to Luis.
Oh.
Because Kovala is not going to always be around, and Kovala needs their moths back to do their job. But the same way that Zigzag is Garen's moth, Luis will end up having her own moth that will be trained to come back to her, or to specifically get letters to her. Because Kovala has like
Yeah.
a whole like horde. I don't know what a fluttering of moths is, but there's a
Right.
lot of them.
Yeah. So I think Garen is going to give advice on what someone else should say. It's a move that they can always do. And Garen is going to be like, just take one moth aside, whichever one that you trust, and tell them that you need them to be the one that is going to stay with Louise and be able to look after her and deliver messages in case you have to go out, and that will be the one moth that will bring back sugar from Louise to you, so the moths can always have sugar whether they're with you or Louise.
I can get my own sugar. It's more of a thing of she's young, but she's so mischievous.
Yeah, I get
Like,
it.
I feel like they're going to be. I don't think she's ever going to be able to travel without having her parents around. But if she has a moth where she can always send the moth off to communicate with people, then maybe she can have freedom.
I think so. I think that's really wise.
That might be dangerous to unleash upon Haith, but oh well, it's fine. We'll
A
talk to the
shiver,
moths in the morning.
a shiver runs down everyone's spine.
Right? I'm
Uh,
printing the new BBG. But that is the first one. I'm giving something, someone something I hold dear. Kovala is giving one of the moths
yeah,
to her new maybe Mothtender in training in the next like 10 years if she wants a job change.
yeah.
I,
But
sorry, continue. I would like to respond to that though in this thing, but yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Or what's the
So
second? But is there a second thing? Oh no. Respond first. And
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
in that would this have been in like the shared conversation space, or would the two of you have wandered off?
We're just sitting here talking and having
Sitting and
this
talking.
conversation.
Yeah.
If Bhaloo overhears that, he will spend a token to reveal something hidden about the person that in this instance was being talked about, and uh, he will laugh when the Kovala laid out the unleash on hate line, and you know but he kind of leans forward again and then kind of just looks up to the sky and in fondness, and then looks back to where Bhumi took his daughter, and he will turn to you. She is a little miracle, that one. I don't know when it began, but everywhere we went, she was surrounded by every small, well, not just small, every god and spirit in the area seemed to be gravitate towards her. She is divine in a way. I mean, I'm sure many fathers would say that about their girls, but Mine is a little miracle.
Louise's lantern with the sentient fire god in it glows.
And then I'm going to ask, I will say, I will ask then Kovala to reveal what is hidden that they feel about this.
I think it's the parental insight. You've also spent a lot of time with Kimbara, Kovala's mother. And it's kind of the comment about maybe one day in 10 years she'll become a Mothtender. Because Kovala is looking for, like, is there a future where I can not have to be a Mothtender? Where I can just stay with my loved ones instead and not have to have this pull of travel. If I gift one of my moths that I care about to someone who's young, they can carry on basically my legacy, but also seeing that Louise is very capable of being a person who is in touch with things and very pure-hearted. Kovala sees a lot of that same like curiosity that they had as a kid in Louise and knows that that's what drew them to be a Mothtender. But starting out with just one moth that is trying to come back to you, and that is the one that you can talk to people, whoever you want, and you can make connections outside of yourself, is a great gift that Kovala was given through the studio of a Mothtender, but it came with a burden that now you want to follow the moths everywhere. But Kovala's now found, like, I want to be at home sometimes, but not right now, but maybe in like 10 years.
Mhm.
So
I think he would just kind of tip his cup at you in cheers, and I think you are going to be her new favorite person. Prepare yourself; it is not going to be easy. She has, despite some lessons I wish we bought, she has problems with understanding personal space.
that's fine. I do too.
I know.
As Kovala's like in between Karen's legs, sitting on the floor, his legs over the shoulders, just like, it's fine. Oh,
Kovala,
then-
was there a second thing?
yeah.
Absolutely. Gotcha.
I'm going to spend the token I just gained for Coco. I am going to ease your pain, if only for a moment, by doing what I do best, which is offering to deliver a message. In this, Kovala pulls out a sleeping moth, one that is just a little bit lazier. It's a retired moth. At least the moth thinks it's retired. Just pulls it out. Come on. Well, wake up. Wake up. Coco,
Yes.
where is your friend that you're looking for? The place you said.
I
City
didn't
of
write it
Azure.
down. City of
City of
Azure.
Azure. Specifically the Cerulean Market.
Okay.
So, okay. Well, Coco, this is Reliquary. Reliquary, like shiny stuff.
Mm.
And doing things if they seem important or if they are for people of high honor.
Mm.
Reliquary has moth standards.
Well, I'm sure there are lots of shiny things in the market. And I don't know the standards by which a moth judges, but if I think like Coco will kind of like lean down and like talk to the moth directly. If you could carry a message for me, I would appreciate it. I do want to let Clarence know that I'm coming, so hopefully he doesn't keep traveling.
What is
And
does Clarence
because
Smith-
and because a token was spent, and I'm going to honor that. Coco makes a fantastic impression on Rocky.
Coco's important.
Yes, absolutely important.
Coco's important.
And you're able to kind of get the gist from the chittering of this moth that they will deliver this message. They are more than happy to. And you also kind of get the gist that, you were right to point out the things about the shiny things in the market. So they're kind of looking forward to this particular run, which means they have an opportunity.
You can take your time coming back. You can
enjoy
while you're there. Yeah.
He's going to shop.
Yeah.
All right. Reliquary, this is Coco. You are going to report back to Coco with whatever news the person in the marketplace has. Coco, this is Reliquary. This is not your burden to carry. I am so sorry. Reliquary is great. They just have high standards. So, and then literally cups hands and leaning out of Garen's legs to then offer you this moth.
Yeah. The moth takes whatever letter you pen and immediately flies off into the night with it tied to one of its legs.
Thank you, Kovala. I appreciate that. I don't know how long exactly we'll be here, and I don't know exactly how long he'll be there, so hopefully... I know just somewhere in the market is a broad instruction, and I hope the shiny things don't distract them too much. But I appreciate the opportunity to let Clarence know that I'm on my way.
Reliquary is a smart moth. So
I think Bhaloo's large paw will come and rest on your shoulder, on your back, Coco, and there'd be just that he'd just look at you and he'd be that small soft smile on his face and the slow.
Mel, what is the final thing that you would like to do before turning in for the night?
Yeah, Mel approaches Luther as everybody's
Hey.
winding down. Yeah. Oh, hey.
Hello.
Hi. Do you want to see a magic trick?
I would love to see a magic trick.
Okay, come with me. The roofs here, are they peaked roofs? Are they flat? What style roofing are we?
We're going to say they're peaked.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, Mel's a squirrel. He's a goat, so we can climb up this house. Mel takes Luther outside, and we climb up onto the roof. And not answering questions the whole time. Just no, you'll see. You'll just wait. And gets up to the highest point of the roof, and she holds out her hand, and says,
"Okay,
do you trust me?"
I mean, I just met you, but sure, why not?
All right. And she takes his hand and she jumps off the roof. And in doing so, spreads her arms and her legs out wide, still holding on to him, but then uses the flight magic to start gliding through the streets. And I want to have the table describe what that looks like as they're soaring through the streets with the lanterns, and it's dark and everything.
I'm going to turn over to Theozander. Feel free to pass it off to other people on the table when you've shared your moment, but what does this look like as the two of them are flying above the village?
I think it's really it was like there was this image shared before of the stars above and the stars below, and it's Mel and Luther are that they're almost like a ship on the ocean, with the sky above and the sea stars below, and I imagine it very gentle flight. And people every now and then looking up and kind of and waving, as it's like a candle feast miracle. as the two are flying by. And I think, yeah, I imagine Luther hasn't or and Matt hasn't either seen the town from this viewpoint before,
Mhm.
and I imagine it's very kind of humbling to see kind of everything in this very small. Yeah, see everything that you've known this whole town look very small all of a sudden, and yourself kind of be small as part of that.
Wow. Uh, Baloo, is there anything else that you would like to add to this beautiful picture?
I think it's just a quiet moment of contemplation. Listening to the small gods, listening to the talk of his friends, and the
Wait, Baloo. We're describing what it looks like in the sky in the village.
in the village. Sorry,
Yes.
my um, I think there would be a like the wind would pick up, and it's just like these are mountains, but they were carved by rivers. There's small grains of glittery sand or like quartz like little material. And in a particularly strong gust of wind, some of that dust is picked up and it kind of swirls through the night as it catches all of the different lamplight underneath and the moonlight above.
Kovala, as one of the few travelers who has experienced this, what else do Mel and Luther see as they fly above Drosslight?
Um, as they fly further up instead of outwards, the farther they go up, the higher they are able to see, like have a range of vision. I think they're going to be able to see the actual patterns of the weather changing,
Mhm.
uh, and the way that that weather changing then affects like the city down below. It's
Mhm.
maybe just this little smattering of snow from the mountains gets carried over, and they can actually see the bit of like frost and specks of snowflakes get carried from a large gust of wind into a set of clouds. And then that cold chill goes down into the town. And as they're looking over, they then see, following that wind path, that that wind chill has brought a couple closer in like wanting to find warmth in each other while they're taking their candle with their new lanterns out for a stroll. And the wind chill gives them like you hear laughter on the wind. You hear like this intimate moment of like, oh, like maybe the town local knows those two have been circling around each other for a while and they've never gotten close enough. Maybe one of them's not local. Maybe one of them is just here for the holidays because they have family in town. But the local has been like in love with the other one for this entire time. But that little laughter of the two of them getting closer, huddled while holding like and sharing a lantern together and then going inside. And the two of them get to watch the whole experience of this holiday is blessed for a reason of bringing people closer, and even the seasons have blessed this in a way, but only can you see that from up above the clouds.
Uh, I think that gust of cold would have, I think, in that moment, since Bhumi and Luis are elsewhere, in that moment, there would only have one other person that he'd seek warmth from. I think he'd kind of go over to the log or wherever that Coco is sitting on, just sit next to him, just bump into him, and kind of throw a his jacket, his massive jacket, over us, and just kind of sit there and clink tea and drink.
Yeah,
Coco,
absolutely. Yeah.
what is also in the night sky, high above as Mel and Luther are flying? What do they
Yeah.
see?
Actually, to build on what Diamond had added, something that I think that the two of them don't see, but this couple who they watch be brought closer together with the lantern, what um what Mel and Luther do see is they see the light from the lantern reflecting, and I think it is that same pattern that Coco saw earlier, and they see it like reflected now in the true dark, and they see the pattern like cast across the whole path and across the walls, and they see like the whole reflectedness of the pattern. But I think also the couple looks up for a moment and like glances the two of them. Like there's a moment of mutual connection where the couple looks up at them. And I think what Mel and Luther don't see is that they have floated such that there is a constellation of stars behind them, and they have like fit into the constellation, and maybe it's a constellation that represents like the lovers or something like that, and they have kind of completed the constellation as they floated there, and it is the stars above and the stars below, and no both the couples have a different image of it, like neither of them get the full picture, only the audience gets the full picture, but they're each kind of seeing a different way of this kind of like glow of new love coming both from above and from below.
That is beautiful. And with that, our friends turn in for the night, enjoying a wonderful candle feast in the village of Drosslight, with places to go and more memories in their hearts. And that concludes our journey for the night. Thank you so much, everyone, for those who watched, those who shared. Project Meadowlark, Meadowlark Productions is going to be raising funds all month long. So please, 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 even if you didn't get a chance to donate tonight, donate later in the month. Donate what you can, and please come back. We've had several other one shots coming up. Just keep an eye on Meadowlark Productions Blue Sky for more announcements. I have been Okami. I have been your guide. I am the creative director over at House of Dreams and the community outreach person over at Apocalyptic Unlimited. And it has been an honor and a privilege to be a guide. You can find my stuff over at Keiichi Okami at Blue Sky. At itch.io, actually, because I'm one of those people whose itch account is their Blue Sky. And you can also find me at Keiichi Okami over on Instagram as well. Let's please Baba Yaga, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share the story on this channel. And thank you so much for producing. These creativity couldn't be done without hardworking producers such as yourself. Please outro us all. Tell us who you are and everything, and then popcorn it over to one of your fellow travelers.
Yep. So I'm Baba Yaga. You can find me here on Meadowlark and on a bunch of different places, doing one shots coming up in the next while. Uh, yeah, this is great. You can also find me on Blue Sky at babayaga.quest, and I'm gonna send out on over to Coco, over to Quinn.
Hi everybody, my name is Quinn. I use any and all pronouns. I have been playing Coco, our crested gecko rebel who uses he, him pronouns. You can find me on Blue Sky at QuinnBeckham27. You can also find me fairly regularly over on Nerds with Dice. I am currently playing in Fields of the Dead, our Midwestern zombie apocalypse game that is restarting. We've been on a mid-season break. We're restarting this upcoming Saturday. My character Chase has been taking a nice long nap because I had to miss a couple sessions, so he's been unconscious, and I haven't watched the episodes. I have no idea what's going on, so you can come and watch me wake up and find out what happened. That will be on Saturday evening. Saturday mornings, for the next 3 mornings, I will be over on Logomancy Media. We are back with Season 2 of Emergent Dawn of the Next Generation, where I am the GM. You can find all the Season 1 videos of that are on YouTube. and we're going to be doing season 2 for 3 more weeks, and that is Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I will pass it on to Logan.
Thanks, Graham. Yes, Logan, he, him. I've been playing Theozander the Teacher, also he, him. You can find all my stuff at logantimmons.card.co, and that's card with 2 R's. And there, that will send you to other places, including my Blue Sky and the games that I design, and my podcast. I recently counted up, I've got over 40 games on my itch, so that's a bit ridiculous, of varying sizes. But yeah, if you go there, it will send you to all the other places. And I will hand over to Diamond.
Hi, I'm Madness Diamond, but since we're friends now, you can call me Diamond. I use they, she pronouns. And I was playing Kovala, your lioness Mothtender, who uses any and all pronouns, because I like it when people get funky with the pronouns of the postal system. And you can find me everywhere at Madness Diamond, or if you would like everything in one place, you can find me on beacons.ai/Madness Diamond, where you can find my entire repertoire of my past performances and such that I've done and my current projects I'm working on. I am also an admin of many talents in the TTRPG space on many different levels. One of them being that I help Hector over at House of Dreams with a couple of things as a producer. I'm the keeper of schedules and spines for Dinner and a Game, World Tree Quests, and the Everbright Archive, which is a TTRPG anthology podcast that I'm also on as a cast member. I play Jemmy Horde, the curator of epics, the champion of knowledge and secrets, who is a manticore. But in the current story we're telling for the Everbright, I play Lysander Agni, Misfortune's Flame, a Wolfbertinger bunny kind of person who is a pyromancer, using Fabula Ultima. That game's called The Last Story, and it's run by Sphinx Akasha, that beautiful, beautiful man. So, but if you'd like to listen to Everbright Archives, we're everywhere that you find your podcast needs. And if you'd like to hear me talk about a wide variety of subjects with a wide variety of people, you can find all of the podcasts that I have been on in my Beacons link, including After the Table with Shelley Von Miller, where Shelley and I sit down and talk about my work that I do decriminalizing sex work in the TTRPG community space. So, or destigmatizing and decriminalizing, because, you know, it's a lot of work. But yeah, and I'm going to send it over to Adi.
Hello, thank you, Diamond. Hello, people of the internet. I am Adi MK. I go by Fab He Him, and I've been playing Bhaloo, who goes by He Him. You can find me at a bunch of places on the internet. Adi MK on both Blue Sky and YouTube, where I am trying to do a little more content here and there. I am working on a set of recordings of a homebrewed version of Stephen Dewey's To Serve a Wintry Hunger, and I've been pitching it to everyone I know, and I'm trying to get people to play with me. And it's been going all right so far. I've had 3 hunts thus far that I've completed, a few more that are supposed to be running, and more that I'm going to be pulling all of these beautiful people into. Pressure them. And yeah, you can also find me at Noonlight Creations on Instagram, where I do my art and a few other projects like jewelry and stuff. If you have some commissions in mind, you know, hey, I like money. I like working for my money. And you can find me a bunch of places. I'm on. I'm always. I'm happy to be on House of Dreams whenever I get a slot. I am on Pants's Tables. I'm on Misadventures League. I don't run anything because I don't have any responsibility, and I can barely look after myself, so I don't do more. But I am part of the support staff on Pants's Tables. But it has been an amazing time, and yeah, hi, that is me.
All right. Thank you all so much. If you love this game, if you liked Wander Home, go ahead and check it out over at Possum Creek Games. And once again, thank you so much to Meadowlark Productions for letting us come and tell this beautiful, beautiful journey. And with that, we'll see you on the road.